Johnny Zakara is unconscious. Actually, he's in critical condition. So even if you wanted to back up your story, which I would highly doubt, he ain't talking. Claire Walsh was thoughtful enough to come forward with a recording which proves premeditation on your part. There is no indication that John Zakara had any kind of a weapon or that he threatened you in any way. So, no. Sonny, good news? No, there's no good news here. You are looking at an attempted murder charge with a very iffy shot at bail. No pun intended.
When you get this defeatist attitude.
Defeatist? All right, well, let's go over the facts,
okay.
Shall we? Since that's actually all I am able to deal with. You have admitted to shooting Johnny Zakara and then casually strolling away into the night, leaving the man to die on the sidewalk. Now, you claim it was self-defense, but there is no evidence to corroborate that since Johnny Zakara was not found with a weapon and he is tested negative for gunshot residue. Then, to tighten the screws just a little more, your favorite federal prosecutor and mine, Claire Walsh, has decided to help the authorities by producing a digital recording of you saying that you plan to, wait for it, plead self-defense after shooting Johnny in cold blood.
I gotta tell you, this time I am innocent. I just gotta find a way to prove it. And it would be nice if my attorney would help me instead of giving me another litany of my sins.
Oh, believe me. Believe me, I plan to defend you to the very best of my abilities. That's my job. It is also my job to make sure you have a clear perception of where you stand in the eyes of the law.
I understand. Get it done. Just figure out a way to prove that I'm telling the truth. Call Jason. Tell him to put Spinelli to work. There might be a surveillance tape that has Johnny holding a gun.
Spinelli, and I can talk to. Jason seems to have disappeared.
What do you mean Jason disappeared?
Well, the last time I saw him, Jason seemed concerned that Sam was going to do something ill-advised in an attempt to help him, and my guess is that's exactly what happened. So now Jason has gone off after Sam, and Sam has disappeared as well.
He's not answering his cell phone?
And his SUV has apparently been abandoned.
It's not like Jason to vanish, at this time.
Okay, well, we don't have the luxury right now, Sonny, of worrying about Jason. You have to think about yourself.
I want to talk to Dante.
No, that's a bad idea. No. Dante is a cop who hates you.
Listen, I know that, but he's my son.
Yes, the son that you shot, point blank, in the chest. Does that sound familiar, Sonny? It's the same scenario that you are now in with Johnny. And we in jurisprudence call that a pattern of behavior. The cops use it all the time to trip up criminals. Believe me, Detective Falconeri is the last person you want to be talking to.
You wanted to see me?
Any progress?
Well, I looked over the file. Nothing evidentiary indicates that Johnny was armed.
Johnny had a gun. He pointed it at me, and I shot him in self-defense.
I know that's your story, and you're sticking to it, but there's nothing to back that up. I went to the hospital to question Johnny, but he was unconscious. That was surreal, really, seeing him lying there with the exact same wound I had when you shot me, unarmed.
Totally different situation.
Well, I don't think so. Someone got in your way, you fired first, and regretted it later.
You were unarmed. I knew it. I pulled the trigger anyway, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life. But I'm going to tell you again, and I'll tell you again and again and again. Johnny stopped me on the street, pointed a gun right at me, and I shot him in self-defense.
You keep saying that. The problem we have here is that I don't believe you. I find myself wanting to believe you. I went to the hospital to question Johnny, hoping he'd back you up. That was wishful thinking, but I thought I'd indulge. Then my mother shows up. With this quiet, dignified pain, like she knew the drill. Like she knew she had to stay strong for Johnny. And then I realized it's because she'd been there before. at my bedside when her son was shot, unarmed, point blank.
Totally different situation.
No,
Totally different circumstance.
That's only in your mind, is it? You just decided to shoot, once again, a guy who couldn't defend himself. No, I'll never forget the look on your face that day. The coldness in your eyes, the grim resolve, the lack of any emotion whatsoever. All I have to do is think of that day, and I know you could have shot Johnny unarmed without even blinking.
You think I didn't learn anything from shooting you? You're wrong. I learned one of the biggest lessons of my life. I thought I had good reason for killing you that day. It was the right decision for the business. You'd gotten in too far. You knew too much. You were a cop. You were working me, and you were working my family. What I didn't know is that I would end up shooting my own son. And I thank God every day that you survived, even though you hate me. But here's the lesson that I learned. It has to be an even playing field. If there's a man standing in front of you and he's unarmed, it does not mean that he's a threat. He should not be met with lethal force. And I said I would never do that again, and I didn't do it with Johnny. He drew on me. I took my gun out, and I shot him to save my own life. Now I'm asking you to believe me, not as a cop, but as my son.